All right. Shalom Yashrala. Call Halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Waharaka Kodash Brakatham. I like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, a great millstone who rule well. Salutations to the select number of Akyam pushing his truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And salutations to the select number of Aquadat that listening. And I don't intend for this to be too long, but it's all according to the spirit, right? But it's just very evident that the whether it be from the southern kingdom or northern kingdom, the young men, as known today as YNs, aka young niggas. It's an acronym for that. I don't care if it's so-called Latino, so-called Puerto Rican, the so-called Native American, or so-called African American, so-called Jamaican, so-called Haitian, man. A lot of these young men, have lost their wits, wits about themselves. A lot of them don't have guidance, but it's evident, it is very much so evident, man, that we definitely in a time that, man, we understand the Holy Scriptures is our safe haven in our belief. Okay, we understand what's going on, and the way a lot of these young men are moving, have made themselves an automatic target, right? This is Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. Okay, that wisdom, man. That on how to move, man. You have to know how to move in this society. Okay, and a lot of our people, man, think they could just go willy nilly and then just wing it. As we all know, as we always say, hey, life don't work like that. It's certain things you can wing, but bro, prophecy is gonna have a lot of these people caught up. Okay, it says, and wisdom. So knowing how to navigate. A lot of these young Jake don't know how to, have a level of decency. Just in general, man. It's a very individualistic society. So no one really is guiding these Jake. The only thing that can guide them is the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yashah, right? And that's really all that can be done. Bury me, Baba Kushah. This is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 20. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets. Okay? So when you see us on the highways and byways, a lesson such as this, live streams or what have you, anything for spiritual educational purposes, hey man, this is going out. Okay? This is going out. And the reason this truth is going out is to give people warning, and also to be quite honest, also for us to gain favor and mercy in the eyes of Yahweh Bashim Yashah, and to save our own ass, man. Because we have to work out our own salvation. So first and foremost, don't forget that. But we're doing this, hey, so we won't be, caught out there, man. A lot of you young men who've scoffed and old nigga ain't trying to hear that shit, or unk, and which, like, bro, you got to come harder than that. Life is all about acceptance, bro. A level of acceptance. I've accepted I'm unk status. That's cool, but can you accept that you possibly gonna be thrown in a detention center like some of us have accepted? That's a possibility for some men of the Lord. Abaratazar, we're amongst those numbers. We've accepted that we might die for this truth. Okay, see, the level of acceptance here is very low because everybody's in delulu. Okay, in other words, delusion, man. Okay, a lot of these Jake, man, are in strong delusion that they just gonna get by in this society, which this society made it so. So, so let's not act like, E doesn't have any hand in that, you know, which he does. Okay. And guess what, man? It's only going to get rougher out here. Okay. Let me continue reading. Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse. In the openings of the gates in the city she uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Okay? A lot of Jake hate knowledge. Oh man, ain't much in here that Bible, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's Jake's mindset, man. And that's a terrible mindset to have, because what leg do you have a stand on? How this current Trump administration, and which is all prophecy, just how things are going, with hyperinflation, it's very evident this society is about to collapse. You think you're just gonna gangbang your way through economic collapse? That didn't play out too well during the pandemic. Now did it? Got y'all hunkered down. Hey, you wanna, that was a test run on how you're gonna moving forward. Okay. So thinking you got it all figured out to you YNs just running around careless, man. This lesson comes from due to my occupation, just hearing, what was the cause of it. And it happened to be young so-called Mexicans, okay, which in the scriptures are known as what? Issachar. You Issacharites. Like, bro, the target that the Latin tribes have on their back, you would think these young Jake would get it. But hey, that goes for the Southern Kingdom too, because they don't think, man. Jake will see 100 Jake get the book thrown at him and still follow that same path just to get the book thrown at them. And that's what Jake gonna continue to do. But guess what? The Lord has it set up that way. Okay. So make no mistake. So yeah, it was just some, the cause of what happened was all these Jake that I did this. It was a number of 14 young men, damaging property. Okay. It's like, bro, vandalizing, and then, like, bro, this is the worst possible time for you to be acting out and acting a goddamn fool, bro. Especially if you're from the Latin tribes, bro. You from the Northern Kingdom, bro. And guess what? The Southern Kingdom getting their ass got on too with the make no mistake, with these deportations and immigration push that Trump is moving, right? Make no mistake, but bro, why would you do that? The scripture's going to tell you why. This is Isaiah chapter 66, verse 4. I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them, because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear, but they did evil before mine eyes and chose that in which I delighted not. Okay? I think the, Lord, is taking delight in watching his people act a damn fool. Just being the scum of the earth, or being labeled that. Just because you're stereotyped, don't mean you have to play into the stereotype, But it's, hey, the Lord is what? Chose their delusions, baby. Chose their delusions, man. Okay. But that's all I have on this. And Abaratazah, this is edifying for the body. So once again, with that, call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Once again, I'd like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations to the select number of Akion pushing his truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And salutations to the select number of Aquat out there listening. Shalom.